we're good to go.
Okay.
Perfect. So, first of all, your name is Chilezi? Chilezi?
Chileshe.
Chileshe.
Yes.
Okay. And a
My
hard
Luvale name is Chilombo.
Chilumbo.
Yeah.
Okay. That's very interesting.
Yeah. But I just go Chichi, it's fine.
Chichi.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah,
So
very
I'm
easier.
gonna try not read, but I think I'll remember. Okay, let's try.
Wonderful. No worries.
hmm
So, let's go with, like, where you're from. Tell me a little bit about how's everything in Zambia, because first of all, I'm from Colombia, so we kind of have this African um, approach, I'll say, like kind of
Right.
roughly say, because there are many um, slaves that they brought from some African countries
Right.
to Americas. So
hmm
I kind of know how it's African thing, but I've never been there, and I really appreciate how you like if you can share me some experience about it.
Of course. I mean, I was born and raised in Zambia.
Okay,
My parents are half Luvale and half Bemba.
great.
So I was brought up in between both cultures, mainly influenced by the Lubale culture. But what I remember from just my upbringing was attending a lot of those traditional ceremonies. It's called Likumbiliamize.
Yeah.
And we would travel all the way to Zambezi, which is about 15-hour drive from Lusaka, where I was raised.
That's the capital, right? Lusaka.
Lusaka is the capital,
Okay.
and the Zambezi is where the Luvale people mainly reside.
Okay.
Yes. At current times, they're all over the place, but you will mainly find that tribe specifically in the northwestern
Yeah.
province. Yes. So there's so many different tribes. There's about 72 languages total.
Wow.
And out of those 72 languages, 20% make up the Luvale people in
Okay.
the northwestern province. There's Luchazi, there's Lunda, there's Chokwe, and I
And you
just
can talk to some of them, like you can speak some.
I do speak Luvale.
Oh wow.
Yes, I speak Luvale, and the greeting is Mulingachili,
Willing actually.
to which you respond Tulikanawa.
Tilikanawa. That
Yes.
means
How are you doing? I'm doing fine.
okay.
Yeah.
That's great. Wow.
So I was just raised around a lot of vibrant culture.
Yeah.
And on weekends, it was the norm for my mom to take me to some traditional dances just to witness. I
Okay.
wasn't a dancer, never
Yeah.
been, but it was one of those experiences that I grew up valuing so much, and
Okay.
I'm grateful that I got to experience all of that.
Correct. Wow.
Yeah,
Wow. That's such a different environment. I think it's than rather than Canada. It's I don't know. I feel like people is more like cold and you can find like African culture
yes,
here, but also you can find some, for example, my coworker is Irish,
yeah.
and they're like go straight to the point. We don't talk too much about it, so it's like a mix of culture that I love.
Yes, definitely. It's very vibrant and the people are very welcoming. They're always willing to teach, they're always willing to give just a hand of help as well.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm an orphan, but because of the cultural norms around my upbringing,
Yeah.
every uncle, every aunt is like a parent.
You think a part. Yeah.
Yes, because they just instill those values to you when you're a child as you're getting older to just nurture your village.
Yeah.
So it just like takes a whole village to raise uh, everyone around, and everyone is like a sense of community. You don't even know who's auntie, who's a real auntie, and who's a real uncle
Yeah.
because
Everyone
everyone
is an
is
auntie.
just auntie, uncle.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's sweet. I think that having this feeling of connection with your community is something that you cannot find very easy nowadays.
totally,
And
totally.
I was in the talk that I talked to you,
Yes,
and he mentioned something that the ancestors are very important. Like older people are very important in the
yes,
community.
yes.
And I saw, like, I watched some, YouTube videos about Luvale culture and this what's called the
Mukanda,
mukanda.
yes.
and it's kind of a, as long as I got it, it's a kind of traditional male initiation schools since
Yes.
where all the boys goes. So I feel it's like something very interesting, and yeah, you can talk about a little bit if you have an experience about it or if you have
Yeah.
seen.
I have witnessed my cousins, male cousins,
Okay,
go through the initiation ceremony. It's basically initiation that transforms them into adulthood.
okay,
So even when they're still young, because they basically go in at a younger age, they're teaching them values of leadership and
yes,
just human resources
okay,
to provide for their families. So that looks like gardening, it
yeah,
looks like hunting, it looks like just being respectful to the
yeah,
culture and upholding the norms of the culture as well. And when the difference is the Mukanda initiation ceremony, there's also circumcision that happens
yeah,
for
that's
the
correct.
male, for the
Yeah,
boys. And the ones that are circumcised at the hospital,
yes.
they don't really get a chance to learn the norms of the ones that are traditionally
Oh, really?
circumcised.
But
Yes.
they go to the Mukanda, or they don't? They're not allowed to go there, like to learn everything.
Because of the Christian faith that just assumes like this was like an evil act and this shouldn't really be done to children or that kind of sort,
Yeah.
it makes it harder for the ones that are not circumcised traditionally to
Yeah.
learn the values of the tradition and actually hold on to it.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, that's a very interesting thing. How the church had kind of influenced even these specific traditions,
Yes.
because they're. I have heard that in many African countries or communities, there's this ceremony that change, or like when you become a real man or you are in
Yes.
charge of your family,
Exactly.
so they how they influence. So yeah, if you want, you can start with the question. I have my question over there, so if you want
Okay.
to read it, or yeah, go ahead.
So, one of your questions was the challenges.
Yeah, the challenges in your
Yes, the
experience.
challenges, like I mentioned, were brought about by the Christian faith that thought the Makishi were evil.
Okay.
So the Makishi are actually the masquerades that
Yes.
partake in the traditional ceremony called Likumbiliamize,
Yeah.
which happens once every year, but there's always like some events going out throughout the year. They're said to have descended from the dead,
Okay.
and they hold a lot of healing powers,
Okay.
from what I'm told. And um, they have a lot of traditional norms
Yeah.
that are passed through dance and drumming and colorful masquerades that they
Yeah.
wear. No one even knows what their faces look like.
Correct. Yeah,
Yes,
they're covered albums.
they're all covered from head to toe, and the women around, they're busy with the cooking and the dancing, supporting them. But these men dressed in masquerades, you
Okay.
don't know who they are because they're apparently originating from, they're descending from the dead ancestors,
Correct.
and they're bringing whatever messages those ancestors have for the
For the
culture.
country. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I was in this talk, and I asked like if everyone can be a Makishi, or if you have to behave like one of these.
Right.
And I'm not sure, but as long as I got it, and he mentioned something like you have to behave and you have to feel this spirit coming to you. Like
Correct.
if this spirit makes people scary, or this spirit is kind of rude, or in the other side, if this spirit is playful,
Yes.
you need to do it like, or you have to be like that. So it's kind of,
Something along those lines, correct. And that's where the boys who are
yeah,
circumcised through the hospital
yes,
don't really have that value to participate as Makishi if
mm,
they were to have it a certain way.
okay,
Because the ones that go through the Mukanda initiation ceremony, have some values that are taught to them that
Yeah.
they can translate to the culture by becoming a Makishi.
Yeah.
But I could be wrong, but that's something that I grew up observing.
Yeah.
Is becoming a Makishi was something that was extremely special.
Okay.
Like I mentioned, we don't even know what they look like.
Wow.
They've got different names. They've got Kapalu. They've got Chinyama,
Yeah, I have
and
some of Kaliwa
they're
or
all
Kujunda.
different.
Yeah.
Yes, but most of them have those ancestral powers, superpowers from the dead.
Yeah.
So they have a lot of respect from the communities because of that.
Okay.
Hmm.
Wow, that's very interesting. Like they kind of also connect their history, their family history with this Makishi, right? I guess
Correct.
like if you're coming from a family whose Makishi was your
Yes,
grandparent, you
you
kind of
become a descendant of that,
see.
and you just like kind of get taught into that norm of becoming a Makishi.
Great, great.
Yes.
Wow. I also have one question. Like, do you know when the Makishi is gonna come up, or do you have like this feeling like, oh, maybe the Makishi is gonna come up and like see us? I don't know. It's like, is there
Um,
any specific time when the Makishi can come, or
from what I remember attending that Likumbile Mise ceremony,
yeah?
they would come out at dawn.
Okay.
So there would be a lot of drumming. It's a culture. It's a ceremony that thousands of people are traveling to
Yeah.
witness, and there's crossing the river that's involved as well, the Zambezi River. You
Okay.
cross the river using a canoe,
Yeah.
and once you get on the other side in Chavuma, then the traditional ceremonies start because there's lots of drumming, and you have to give monetary gifts or whatever form of gifts to show a sign of respect for them to come out and
Yeah.
dance.
And I guess that's also another thing that I watching in the YouTube video.
Yes,
That is uh, kind of expensive to hold this ceremony. I guess like there's there are many boys, right, that they're going. I
correct.
think their parents collect their money,
Yes,
and then they kind of go in charge of everything.
yes.
Yeah.
So
Do you think that this money aspect can influence how they change the tradition? Like, for example, if they said, "Oh no, it's too expensive. We need to do it shorter, or we need to invite less people." Is something like that, or
technically, families come together. So
okay,
it's not just one family taking care of one boy.
they
It's
support each
we
other.
all support each other. So
Okay,
families come together, put money together to
yeah.
make sure that this ceremony is fluid for everybody.
Mm,
Yes.
very interesting. Like that's also one proof that this community support
Community.
is
It's always
everywhere,
community. Yes. So cousins are involved, aunties are involved, everyone's
and
involved.
everyone is an auntie. So I
Everyone's an
guess
auntie. So yes,
that's
definitely.
great. Okay, okay,
Hmm.
I see. If you want, you can go to the next question, or if you have anything else. Like I'm just remembering things and trying to.
Participation. What the participation brings. Um, it's definitely a unique culture that upholds a lot of heritage for us.
Yes.
So it originates from Democratic Republic of Congo and Angola and Zambia. So the descendants from those areas,
Yeah.
it's a whole lot of culture that instills values in us to respect, and it helps us respect our elders. It helps us just run a home a certain way to make sure that everybody's taken care of. And this is not just the woman role, this is everyone's role,
Yeah.
including the children, in making sure that you're preserving the culture.
Okay,
Yes.
and I think there's also some organization involved trying to support that this tradition doesn't get like you don't miss this tradition or
No,
don't get
it's
lost
been
in this.
held for hundreds of years.
Yeah,
So it's something that I wouldn't say would be lost in translation anytime soon.
yeah.
No, and honestly, like even with all the modernization,
Okay,
we still learn about our culture.
okay.
Yes.
And is there any kind of this education, like for example, if you go to school, can you learn something about it, or
Uh,
it's kind of no?
yes, actually, yes. I in high school, in elementary, they teach you about all the different nine provinces of Zambia,
Yes.
and that's including the cultural practices done in every tribe.
Okay.
Yes, so with Luvale, we learn about the Lukumbiliamize. With the Lozi people, they learn about the Komboka ceremony. So there's always these different cultures that we are taught in schools that are part of the curriculum
Okay,
and
but
part of the exams as well.
yeah, but
Yes.
it just like is so students know what it is. It's not so deep
It's
into
basic
the culture.
information.
Yeah, for
Yes,
sure.
it's
Yeah,
basic information, but it's also just the responsibility of the parents and the guardians to teach
correct.
us those norms in our homes. And it's also their responsibility to teach us the language as well, so we don't
Yeah,
lose the language.
yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. What about you were in one of these ceremony, right? When the masquerade appears and everyone runs away or something like that.
Right.
I feel it's kind of. Do you think it's kind of theater, uh, like kind of acting, or do you really feel like uh, these people are running out because they are scary, or how did you feel? Like what was your emotion when you saw one of these Makishi coming to you? Or
I mean, you're taught to behave yourself,
yeah,
especially as a child. I think I was only 16 when
okay,
I attended that ceremony, but you're told to behave yourself. You're told to stay out of their way because it's respect for them to walk freely. And
yes,
if they're asking you to give them money, you're supposed to give them money. Because
really.
if you don't give them the money, they'll bring out their whip and you have to run, right?
Correct.
But I think for most people, it's more so the spiritual aspects of it. They don't want to get any form of bad luck. They
Yeah,
don't want to
correct.
get any form of just not respecting them when
Yeah,
they show up. So everyone's just making sure that they're trying to follow all the rules of the culture. And there's people that run genuinely because they're
yeah,
scared.
they're
But
scared.
I think from my own experience, it was just thrilling and exciting. That's one of the things I'm really grateful for that I got to experience when I was growing up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. I think it's this amazing experience that you can just search in time. You can experience this not so
exactly.
often,
Yeah,
and
totally.
it's very great. I hope I really have the opportunity to
I'd
go there
recommend it. Happens every year in August
in
sometime.
August.
Yeah, I think it's usually the middle or the end of August. It happens in
Okay,
Zambezi. Yeah.
that's very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else? What do you think is good to share in the about culture?
So for the modernization,
Yeah,
there hasn't been much modernization.
no many changes.
Not many changes. The main change is they used to use fiber for their masquerade costumes,
Okay.
but now they're using cotton.
Okay.
Yes, that's the most modernization there has been.
Okay. That
Yes,
makes a lot of. They preserve a lot of
they've
stuff.
preserved a lot of culture. The Makishi is still dancing on a small tiny tree.
Wow.
I'm not sure if you've seen the videos of the different places where they dance.
Maybe I
Yeah,
watched
it's
some.
just like a small tree, or they're just they're just bringing life to the village at
Yeah.
that time of the year when they come out.
I feel like people are happy, or they
Everyone's
just feel
happy.
special
Yeah.
when that event is happening
Yes.
on that time.
Everyone's happy. Everyone's drinking traditional alcohol.
Yeah, what about that? You make like they make beer for people, or they
Yes.
buy some supplies. How it is?
They, I mean, the people that are attending, they buy, the villages
They
make the
buy.
beer to sell to the people that are attending.
Okay,
Yes, and lots of traditional foods as well.
okay.
Hmm.
What's the traditional food there?
Ooh, my favorite is my favorite will have to be shima.
Okay,
That's made out of cornmeal.
cornmeal.
Yes. And the staple for that side of the province in northwestern province,
Okay.
cassava leaves.
Yeah, I heard about it.
Yes, so cassava leaves and whatever form of meat.
It's also made
Fish
of
is also a
corn.
very big one. Cassava leaves?
Yeah.
No, it's just from cassava.
Oh, cassava. Yeah.
Yes, so just the cassava itself, but the leaves.
Yeah.
And they use some pounded nuts to mix it.
Wow.
Yes, and my other favorite is
That's the thing that they eat when they are doing the initiation process, or
the mukanda.
yeah,
No, they eat everything.
everything.
Yes,
Okay.
they eat chicken, they eat pumpkin leaves,
Oh,
they eat sweet potato leaves, they eat corn,
yeah,
they eat the shima, and there's so many different foods.
yeah,
Some of them are in
absolutely.
this garden actually.
Yeah,
So
that's right.
yeah,
Wow, like, but it's still like it's very natural,
natural foods,
organic,
very
and
organic, very
yeah.
rich in nutrients as well.
Wow,
Yes,
what's very interesting how they adapt themselves in their environment, and I feel it's like just years of traditions and
yes,
doing the same thing over and over, but also keeping these good things,
yes,
learning these
totally,
values, learn
totally.
that this community is important.
It's important. It exists to keep us all together,
Yeah,
and that's one thing I'm really grateful for experiencing since I was a kid.
yeah.
Yeah.
And the one that you assist, it was in Zambia, right?
Yes.
But there were people coming from Angola and from the
Um,
Republic of Congo,
you know
or
what? People travel from all over the world
really?
to experience it.
Like there were some tourist people
There's
too.
some tourist people always.
Oh
Yes,
wow.
so many people travel just to see what's going on with that ceremony.
Yeah,
Yes.
and do you know if do you, of course I think they give something, maybe not money, but they bring some stuff for the people, or how?
Most of it, yes. Most of it is monetary funds.
Yeah,
Some people bring shoes, some people bring clothes,
yeah,
but it's that's for the Likumbilia Mise.
yeah.
And for Mukanda, for the boys, they make sure to get them new outfits
Oh
when they
yeah,
graduate.
I saw that.
Yes.
They have to wear like dress elegant.
They have to dress elegantly because they're now men, they're now considered men,
Yes.
and they have to present themselves to the world as responsible.
Yeah, you know what I feel? It's not, of course, not the same, but in the Catholic Church, usually when you do this kind of ceremony,
Right.
you have to dress properly,
Right.
and they spend a lot of money doing
Yeah.
that.
What is that one again?
I'm not
It starts
sure
with
how
a
it's.
C. I don't remember.
Yeah,
But yes, similar style, but traditionally.
yeah, of
Yes.
course, of course. But I think in one of these videos they said like the outfit have to be kind of western outfit, or like shoes, formal t-shirt or something
Yes.
like that.
I believe it's formal clothes.
Formal clothes, yeah.
Correct.
It's not like something to influence.
Nothing crazy,
Yeah,
no. The Makishi are the ones that dress up in the masquerades,
yeah.
whereas Mukanda is just the boys graduating to men.
Okay,
So that's the difference there.
yeah,
Yes, the Makishi is the Lukumbili Amiza ceremony, and then the Mukanda is they find a house and they find a host who's going to teach them for a month
yeah.
before they become graduates from the traditional culture.
Okay.
Yes,
It's for how long? A month?
usually 30 days.
30 days.
Yes,
Learning every day,
I believe they're
hunting.
teaching them. No, they're not hunting. They're just in a house and
Yeah.
teaching them. Yes,
Okay.
but they teach them how to like find food
Correct.
for their families.
Useful skills, I guess.
Useful human skills
Yeah.
that they need to integrate into society.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah, I was wondering, like, if you that time that you were there, do you notice any support from the organization, or they bring some staff, or like the support to keep
Yeah.
this tradition alive? I guess.
There's always uncles. There's
Yes.
always uncles that have done the process already that are helping them to nurture them into the initiation ceremony.
Okay. So
So
there
there's
is
always
support.
support from the community.
Yeah.
Yes.
But apart from the community, like UNESCO or any of these NGO organization, do you think
Hmm.
they really go into the place or
You know what? I'm not sure about that. I don't
yeah?
think so. Not from what I remember.
Okay.
For the traditional ceremony, most likely yes,
Yeah.
but not for the mukanda because it's more for the
It's more
families
families.
than the NGOs.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I guess like it's the more, I won't say like tourist attraction, but it's everyone is the one to go and see what's going on there.
That's mainly the
The
traditional
tradition.
ceremony for the
Oh, okay.
tourists. But for the mukanda ceremony, unless you know someone in the family, then they invite you to the final
Oh,
party.
okay. It's more private. It's
Yes, it's
more.
more private. It's more family oriented because it's about maybe sometimes 10 boys or 20 boys
Hmm.
that they're teaching, and or their parents are going to be present on the day of their graduation.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
correct. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very interesting things. I don't know if you have anything uh, to share with me about the culture that you said. Oh, maybe this aspect it's very important for us, or it means a lot of for me.
I mean, I definitely would just encourage everyone to learn
Yeah,
and value and respect those cultures and not try to change them
yeah,
into something that they're not, because that's what has kept most of them alive
correct.
doing what they do. I understand with modern society trying to impose certain norms on people, but when it comes to tradition, especially like in African
Yeah,
tradition or just any ethnic tradition, culture is what keeps the people together.
yeah,
It's what holds them uptight to make sure they integrate into society, feeling like they belong to something very special and unique.
yeah.
Yes. So
That's
because of that experience, I encourage everyone to just learn and observe
yeah,
and not try to change it.
yeah. Correct,
Yes.
correct. That's a great message. I think
Yeah,
it's very
definitely.
nice to talk to you
You as
and
well.
very helpful. And this kind of talks, I think it's very important
Yes.
to have because you just open your eyes and you see what's going
It
on
gives you
around
a
the
different
world.
perspective.
Yeah.
Exactly. It gives you a
And I
different
think
perspective.
same for you if you see something here in Canada or if you watch any YouTube videos and you see something, for example, in Colombia, there are many indigenous communities around
Traditions,
there,
yes,
and it's like
exactly.
wow,
I want to experience Colombia.
correct,
It's on my bucket list for sure. But
yeah,
yes, because of all of those things, I just think the world is such a rich place.
yeah,
Rich in culture, rich in just differences, and it's just very unique.
yeah,
So just having to see that and be a part of that is the most enlightening thing for myself.
and respect. Love it.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah, very nice.
Yay!
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's very yeah. I don't have much words to say. Thanks to you. It was
You're
very
welcome.
nice that you replied to me. I was looking like, oh, should I change my project
Oh
or
no.
yeah
Well, I'm
because
happy I did. I thought I was of help. I did have to reach out to my uncles to give me some information, but
yeah
they did great.
yeah
Yeah,
they really did say thanks to them too because for them is why I'm doing this too.
of course. And I'm excited for your project. Hopefully everything goes well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you very
Make
much.
sure to visit
Yeah.
and we will show you around.
Oh, absolutely. So
Yeah.
you're from the capital, right? You,
I lived in the
Lusaka?
capital. Yes, I was born and raised. I was raised in the capital for sure, but I visited different